Show us your tips. Daggy Beaver back with you after the Easter break. Apologies for no show last week. We both got caught up in the Easter festivities there, and we're both away, so just timing didn't work out. But back now and back every week again for the foreseeable future at least. And we're going to kick off with the championships, or at least hopefully what's left of them with the rain about. First of all, how are you, Beaver?
I'm good, thanks, Daggy. Thanks for asking, mate. How are you travelling?
Good. Nice and refreshed and a bit damp, but going well.
Yes, some rain about town that's going to play potentially a bit of havoc with the races, pending how much we get tomorrow. So fingers crossed the track can hold up and they can kick off the first day of the championships. But I believe they're already sort of considering a plan B as well.
Yeah, I read there was already the contingency to put everything back a week. So obviously watch and learn on that. Well, no, in 24 hours' time, I'd suggest, but we can only play the cards we're dealt. Lots of rain. Another, nearly 200 mils coming in Sydney, they reckon. So hold our breath, cross our fingers. Rail true, heavy 10 is how I've done it. And it's an interesting card because I guess as a result, you sort of, -6 to look for value, look for outside gates as we go through, and probably looking for fit horses. And so a bit of a head scratcher, but we'll see how that all pans out. We kick off with the 2-year-olds, a kindergarten stakes, 1,100 metres, Group 3 level, and I'll let you have first crack at this.
Yeah, interesting way to start the day. I'm going for Rosalind Star. Only had the 2 starts. First up was pretty good, and then won quite comfortably at its next start at a long odds on. Looks like a horse that'll jump and run. One of those starts, this first start was in soft going, handled it okay. Probably jumps in front here and gives him something to chase, and that might be good enough to win this.
I've got it on top 2. I actually have a question mark about the track because I almost going to say it didn't. I know there's a big gap back to third on debut, but really what you saw second start, it should have beaten Gatsby pretty convincingly, I think. But Rolls Fluid, Nash has chosen it over the other thing he was on, Espionage. So I'm going to put it on top. I think Extreme Diva's the wet tracker here at $10, and I'm going to make it the danger. May well be my only bet, depending how this all pans out in the race. I don't think it's going to be a big betting start to the day for me here. I'm not sure it gets much better, actually, because the second is the 2,600 metre Group 2 Chairman's Quality. I don't really have a clue here. I think I ended up putting Fumbulous on top at a big price. I might have a stab at it. Absolute wet tracker. Some okay midweek Melbourne form through last time. I think it's just going to plough through this bog. Have a tiny each way bet on it as a spec more than anything else because I don't really want to play much else. Circle of Fire's building to something. Probably this might have been the race it's been circled for the whole time. And Stockman is the wet tracker. Probably ends up getting heavily backed. Do I want to really plough into do it again? Not really, but it's the one spec I'll have. Beaver, how have you seen this?
Yeah, I stuck with Circle of Fire just on its recent form. First 2 runs in this time in have been nice 4th placings. Gets third up here. One of those was on a slow and has finished only a few lengths behind Wymark, which is flying with 60 on its back. Gets in here with the light 53. Had it on top. Had the main danger as Hopeful, who does handle the sting out of the ground. And it's ran in some group company races previously. Thought it could run well.
The third is the Carbine Club Stakes, the mile Group 3-4, the 3-year-olds. Very interesting field. Who have you found?
Yeah, very interesting field here. I'm going for Wits End to run well here. It's got some pretty promising form. Last few starts in New Zealand. Should have no problem with the track conditions. Gets J-Mac on board, and in a fairly open race, I think it can run well.
I'm going to spec a couple here. The first is Zondee. It's coming off 2 Kenzo wins. I think was quite green the last time out. Outside gate here, Snitzel, so I'm going to say it gets through the wet. And Mickey D, who I've gone looking for a bit throughout the afternoon. The Kiwi riders tend to handle these conditions a bit better than some others. It's 30s. I'm going to have a spec on it, and possibly even Gold Rush too, the stablemate, who is going pretty well as well, right outside gate. It is the Hawks, though, so being it's wet and they're both drawn out. They're probably going to scratch tomorrow. But happy to say they're half a chance if they're in this race. Wits End next best for all the reasons you've mentioned as well. Interesting race because it's got the feel it needs some fresh blood, doesn't it, more than anything else?
Yeah, I think another horse like Firestorm from the Wallace stables in around the 20s
Definitely, yeah.
is a chance as well. It ran in some group company races in New Zealand and then won quite nicely first up here. Again, it could handle the conditions and be hard to beat as well.
For sure. The fourth is the Adrian Knox 2,000 metre Group 3 for the fillies. And first bit of real clarity had, I thought Autumn Angel was a good thing. Like the way it's built into this prep. Should have been the finish first up. Very impressive last time out. Zara's here. I know it's got weight, but this is a very, very average race. It's on top. One of the better bets on the card. From a point of an early quaddie, I'd only go looking for things really outside the market to throw in with it. That would be something like Kind Words, I think, can improve back to a wet. And down the bottom here, the two Waller runners, Bright Red, who gets Purton, who you know is going to ride something at a price tomorrow at some point. I think it can go in an early quaddie too. How have you seen this one?
Yeah, I thought Autumn Angel looked the obvious choice here. My only concern was the 61 kilos if the track was really heavy.
Yeah.
That did worry me slightly, but it does look to have a serious class edge on some of these and has handled slow going as well. So gets the right jock. So I did have it hardest to beat. The other horse that I thought was the main danger was Ahuriri.
Yep. Ahuriri. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I know that one.
From the Wallace stable. I thought it could run well. Was nice run, nice second last start, and won well before that. So looks to be able to handle again, sting out of the ground. Waller Williams combination here, and over 2,000. Don't leave Waller's horses out.
The fifth is the Country Championships final, 1,400 metres, $1 million race. And I've come up with our old mate Tribeca Star, sent up to Queensland for some tick-over runs. I thought they were all fine enough, hell of a dancer. And Co is all decent enough form. Gets Nash back on outside gate. I think by now they'll be looking to get down the middle of the track. And what are we looking at? Just about double figures there. I'll put it on top. Bandy's Boy, obvious, backing up off a proper Metro win last time out. But gate 1 is a real concern for me. I just had some concerns, but the way it won last week was impressive. And I think Rapidash is on a wet right in the race here now. Tommy Berry going really well, and another one that will be swooping. What do you think?
No, I thought Bandy's Boy looks obvious choice here. That was a good win last start. Yep, you're right. The one gate could be a bit of a problem, but I'm expecting it's got a class edge on these, and this it's hard to, outside of it, there's lots of chances here. I did come up with a couple for the exotics. Number 3, Russley Crown. I think he can run well. Goes well in these sort of conditions, and Belvedere Boys.
Yep.
I think it can run well as well.
Needs Belvedere Boys agrees with just because it's 5 emergencies deep. We need a couple to come out, obviously.
Yeah, I think you might see a few out with the weather around.
Yeah. The 6 is the first of the Group 1s, the English Sires, 1,400 metres for the 2-year-olds. And what have you done here?
Stormboy clearly on top here for me. Thought it was unlucky not to win the slipper, to be brutally honest. Missed the kick and probably put itself out of play, but still produced and got up on the fence, which probably wasn't the place to be as well. So everything went against it and still put in an almighty effort. If it's come out of that run okay, I think it can turn the tables on these.
Yeah, I went looking for all the reasons to take it on and ended up saying it's on top. Might even be looking for 1,400 metres away. It's sort of ground through there, but J-Mac gets back on, can do what it wants. I think it either leads or sits off a node. It's the money horse. I don't think Gay's going to put the stablemate out of play, so they'll take control of this race and roll along. J-Mac back on tick, and the Justifiers as a sire are going about 20% strike rate. So all looks all right to me. I thought Traffic Warden can run well here. That was a pretty good run, ducking along the inside in a slipper, and Street Boss, another one that goes pretty well in the wet, so will make it the main danger. The quaddie kicks off with the TJ Smith Stakes, Group 1, weight for age, 1,200 metre race here, and it's a cracker. It's, yeah, what are you going to do here before I get my brain around this?
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great race here. Really looking forward to watching this race here. I'm going to stick with Imperatrix. It just keeps winning and doesn't run a bad race. I think gate 6 perfect for it here. Loves these types of conditions, or loves any types of conditions, to be brutally honest. Soft or heavy track is not going to go against it. So it has that up its alley. But you could say the same for I Wish I Win. Again, soft and heavy tracks is where it's done its best work. Run more placings than wins, which sometimes is a little bit of a worry.
Racing pattern against, isn't it? It's always going to be out the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And going to have to give Imperatrix a bit of a start here. So I've got Imperatrix on top. I Wish I Win, main danger, and I also think Magic Time. I think it can improve on its first up run, and I think it can run a good race under these conditions.
I just have to take on I Wish I Win first up on a heavy 10. Trolls weren't, spectacular either, and it means I can take on a third of the market and have that in my favour. I ended up wanting to just take on Imperatriz too, but I think it's the best horse, obviously. It's last time it was on a heavy track. I went and found the run in New Zealand. It won by about 8 lengths. So I think it gets through it okay. I don't think it's as good, but it might not need to be. My best result in this race is going to be Aft Cabin. I've decided. Purton goes on. Just completely forget the last run. The first up run was really good. Wet is fine. And 20-1, we'll find out. When I get to my quaddie, I'm going to look at Espiona and Private Eye as well as the next best. Private Eye just given none. It's the last couple of starts. Wet track, Joe Pride runner, always dangerous. But sort of keen to bet mainly from the point of view I want to take on I Wish I Win. Obviously, I can be wrong, but it screams out, take me on, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. The Doncaster, one of my favourite races on the calendar. And this is another very interesting race, Group 1 mile, obviously. We've got a pretty good strike rate in this. Can we strike again here?
What do you got?
If it was dry, I would declare the Japanese horse a complete moral. I'm putting it on top. I think you probably get $10. It may well not need to. It may well just be better anyway. But Abu Barami, we're speaking of. I'm just going to put it on top. Best horse. Did run third in a Group 1 in Japan on a rain-affected track. I think that's a little bit different to what we get at Randwick. And then I've gone looking for wide gates, as I always do here. Dangers, Samana going really well. Will eat up the wet. Outside gate, swooping. Love it there. What price is that? 30s. If that goes in, obviously Zugotcha has to be looked at. And Lady Laguna absolutely flying as well. And some of its early runs, when we had the floods a couple of years ago, were fine in the wet. So Mickey D might be a good day for him. I think they're the main ones I'll look at for the quaddie. They're all double figures, so I'll play around and see if I can create a nice looking book out of that. Obviously scared of another will, but I'm just looking for value by the time we get on a bog track late in the day. What are you thinking?
I am thinking. I was thinking the Japanese horse. I'm just not so sure now.
Yeah.
With the heavy conditions, so I'm going to take it on the basis that it doesn't handle the track there. I don't think it'd be $9 or $10 if it was a good track. If it was, I'd be certainly keen to rip right in. Just looking at the setup and the weights, I'm going to go another wheel. It's just improved out of sight, this preparation, and last start was that was unbelievable. Just sat outside him and just put pay to him in a blink there. I think it can sit anywhere. Can come across and sit outside the lead, or it can tuck in behind. I think that's going to mean it's going to be very hard to beat with that type of run. I did have Lady Laguna and Zugotcha in there, as you said. And I also said Detonator Jack
Absolutely,
is also a chance.
Detonator Jack's just the one that's going to be lurking close to the pace, getting that cozy run, and we know swims.
But yeah, I mean, there's plenty other chances there. Democracy Manifest, it was flying. Think about it. It's not often you're going to get 20 to 1 yet. I mean, last preparation, you wouldn't have dreamt of getting 20 to 1.
No.
So I don't think the 1600 Randwick's quite up its alley and in the heavy going. So you probably take it on under those circumstances. But yeah, I think there's 4 or 5 good chances there.
Beautiful. The Derby's next, 2400 metre Group 1. How have you seen this one?
Yeah, I just think Riff Rocket wins.
Okay.
I think it'll just take all before it here. It was outstanding last start. It's had the 3 starts on the soft and it's 1-2. I suspect it won't have any problem getting through the going, and I just finding it hard to see which horse can knock it off in this.
I'm going to go looking for the stayers here, and it has won a Derby, so it might be right, but I've just got this in my mind as a complete slog, and I'm thinking Wymark stalking on a quick backup, hard fit, can run well here, close to double figures. I put it on top. Terrified of Riff Rocket, terrified of Zardozi, who's also on the quick backup, but just going to pin my flag there, and probably cover immediacy as well. I think they're the 2 out-and-out stayers in what should be a slog. But if you're just backing best horse and still happy to do so, I would not talk you out of going with what the Beaver says there. Let's finish with the PJ Bell Stakes, 1,200 metres. Surely Learning to Fly has to have a bit better luck this time out. It'll get through the wet. There's no issues stalking here. And almost a drop in grade, actually. This has a bit of a tail on it. That said, a couple of nice horses here. Infancy's one. It'll run well. Mirrorvale Rose is one as well, but is first up on a heavy. Commemorative seems to handle the wet all right, despite being a big horse. So the other one's for the quaddie, but I'm going to finish with Learning to Fly in the last. Beaver.
You know, I'm pretty keen. Commemorative can run a good race in the last year. I've got it on top. Love the way it won first up. That was a really nice win. I'm expecting further improvement here, and I think that puts it right in this race. So I've got it on top.
Perfect. We've got to look at the quaddie on Championship Day 1. First leg, let's take on I Wish I Win. So I'm going to go 2 Private Eye, 5 Aft Cabin, 8 Imperatriz, 10 Espiona. Second leg, we'll go with 2 Abu Barami, 4 Militarized, 5 Zugotcha, 8 Detonator Jack, 17 Samana, 12 Lady Laguna, 18 Another Will. Third leg, 1 with Riff Rocket, 6 Immediacy, 7 Wymark, 14 Zardozi. We'll throw 3 Saya Wolf in as well. And come in with Learning to Fly, number 1, 5 Infancy, 6 Mirrorvale Rose, 12 Commemorative, and there was another one at a price I liked. Yeah, that'll do. Maybe Ballroom Bella in the last as well, 50s on the wet. Split there should pay all right. You got a best in value for Doncaster today?
Yeah, my best is race 9, number 1, Riff Rocket. Okay. And my value bet comes up in race 4, number 11, Ahuriri.
Excellent. Race 4, number 1, Autumn Angel.
Number 11.
Yeah, I'll go Autumn Angel. So Quinella play there for my best with the Beaver. Race 3, number 8, Zondee. Maybe can give us a side at the 20s. Caufield, we've got to get to. Of course, subscribe and leave some feedback on YouTube as well as Spotify as we get the new channel rocking and rolling. Heading through and into the Queensland Carnival's not long away either. We'll cover that off. But we've got to head to Caulfield where the track is currently soft. The worst of the weather, I believe, is past. So I'm thinking gets back towards good track, rail true. Should be fine. I'm going to kick off with the 2-year-olds over 1,200 metres, where I'm going to say that I think the market's right. Immortal Star chasing Bold Bastille last time out looks pretty good form. Main Danger Perspiration comes down chasing Rosalind Star looks pretty good form. main 2 chances to start the day in the first. Had a question mark on this Hawks horse at a big price, so they chugged around at the back in 2 trials there. Maybe one for the exotics. But how are you starting the day at Caulfield?
Yeah, I'm keen on Perspiration. Been scratched from Sydney down to Caulfield, dodging Rosalind Star, I suspect, and therefore it can run well in this.
The second is a 2,000 metre benchmark 70. We're back into these Saturday slogs in Melbourne. This is an awful race here. Can you tip anything there?
It is an awful race here. If I'm forced to have a tip, I'm going to go number 9, Tass. Third up after a spell. First 2 runs haven't been too bad. Has shown some promise in previous runs. And when it's like in most of its runs, hasn't been far off them. So I think it can run well.
For the sake of a tip, I'll put Toll Paddle on top. At least it won last time out. But yeah, no bets for me here. The third is a 1,200 metre benchmark 70, where I'm going to have something each way on Buse here. Did some nice stuff last prep. Didn't have a lot of luck some of those runs. Thought trials been really good coming back for this. Some weight relief with Celine on top, and really like the jump outs. So going to put it on top. White Bear, if you backed it last time out, as I know Beaver did, you might be getting a price here. It was pretty good outside lead there. Brave enough. The 2 that beat it came out wide. So may well have been a better part of the track. So worthwhile backing up, I think, if you did have an opinion of that last time out. They're the main 2 for me. River Noir, next best. No luck first up in his double figures. Thoughts?
Yeah, I've gone for White Bear. I'm going to stick with it. Hoping it gets a bit more luck in running this time in. And if it does, I think it can be winning. And you're right. I thought River Noir could run well as well. That was the main danger.
Fourth is the Burnt Bright Handicap for the 3-year-old fillies. Who do you like?
Yeah, pretty open race here, but I'm going to stick with Peachtree. I'm going to give it one more go. I backed it first up, and that just didn't pan out much. There was a lot of speed on that race. It was set up for Waltz on by again down the middle of the track. It didn't have much luck in running Peachtree. It was had to sit outside the lead. There's plenty of pace on. I'm going to give it another go here. Hopefully it can cross and lead and get a little bit more luck.
Also pulled up lame, so
yes,
forgive. I think the market's generous enough to cover a couple here, and the first couple will be the 2 that chased My Girl Gumdrops last time out, Moesha and Inhibitions. I'm starting to get a bit sick of Inhibitions, but again, in this race, they're the main 2. You've covered off Peace Treaty next best. I think that's about the race. I think I'll look to cover those 3 and get a result. Lazargo goes into an early quaddie, just a couple of average luck in running races the last couple out. The 5th, 1,400 metre benchmark 70, and looking for the White Bear form. Really liked Furious going into that race. It resumed well, just got nosed out by Beaver's horse in that one. But straight to 1,400 metres, gate 9, can circle these and fight out the finish. I think the only danger, to be honest, is Hazel Baby, who had no luck last time either. And again, there's another race you can cover too and feel pretty comfy, I reckon. So looking forward to it. What do you think?
Yeah, didn't like the race, to be totally honest. I'm going for Russian Meteor.
Yeah.
I thought it resumed quite nicely. First up, I thought that was a good run. I think there's plenty of improvement in it, and it's got gate 4. So in what's an open affair, I think it can run well. And I thought something like Worsfold resuming, if there's plenty of pace on. It's won 3 from 5 first up and placing at the other. It could be a knockout chance if the pace is on and swoopers are in.
It's funny, my notes said, I bet your Beaver tips Worsfold. So well done. The 6
Fuck
is...
you.
You love Nick Ryan, which is fine. He trains a few winners, but there's another one there earlier I thought you might tip as well. What was it? Zion, wherever it is. Anyway, the 6 is the mares, a mile. What do we got here? Nana's Wish on top. It brings some nice Sydney form lines here. That was a barrier trial when it won at Pakenham. I think it comes here, rolls forward, sits where it wants, and will be very hard to beat from our Empress Zoe, who was pretty good first up, sitting outside lead. I think they're the 2 up on pace and going to be the main dangers. I'll look towards Jenny Jerome and Legacy's going into an early quaddie from that point of view. But yeah, 2 key hopes for me. What are you thinking?
I thought number 3, Sarasana, had to be super hard to beat.
Yep, no,
It's
fair
third
call.
up here. First up was in a Group 2, Armanasco. Was less than 2 lengths behind Sassy Boom there. And second up, probably a bit of second up syndrome, was behind Autumn Angel. So I thought that was not bad form lines here. Draws gate 7. This isn't an overly difficult field, and I think 750 is good value, so I've got it on top.
Fair enough. Every time I tip it, it runs 8th, and whenever I don't back it, it wins. So I've just
Good, stay off.
just going to stay away from it for you. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, the quaddie is kicks off with the Galilee Series final, 2,400 metres. I couldn't really find any trick shots here at a price, but who do you think these favourites are good things?
I've gone for one of them. I've gone for Sunsets.
Yeah.
I thought it could run well. Improved second up over the 2,000. It was only 2.5 lengths behind the favourite, Antrim Coast. It'll be fitter again here, and I think the further they go, the more it'll improve. Got it on top.
I went the same way. It's covered ground in that lead up there. It's been building nicely. I think third up, 2,400 metres. Looks good. Ran third in a derby to Riff Rocket. So, yeah, same. Antrim Coast did win that race. Gets us where it's stalked there. Gets a similar run here. So, obviously a live chance, but big SP. And, was just coming with you. We can still get a reasonable price around Sunsets. 1,400 metre Victoria Handicap is next at Group 3 level. And I'm just going to go with the fact I think Buffalo River deserves to win one of these. It's been fighting out the finish in proper stuff alongside Pride of Jenny and Mr. Brightside and co. It gets control here, which is going to suit, and is due for a win. Terrified of Globe. Trial was fantastic. Probably is the best horse. We'll see it come back. It wouldn't shock me if it blew these away. Beaver?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Globe, just on the basis of the 4 out of 5 wins. When it missed first up last prep, but now looks tuned up to run well in this. This isn't a difficult race, so I've got it on top and hardest to beat.
The 9th is a 2,000 metre Easter Cup. Who do you like here?
Yeah, I'm going first Immortal. Came out and blew them away first up. Wanted to see it first up, and it didn't let us down. Back now, 57.5. This doesn't look the hardest field, to be brutally honest. Clear on top for me. I thought 280 was a pretty fair price.
Agree. Not much to add. Liked it first up. It should get another perfect run again, just like it likes being able to box seed or get up there close enough. On top, I thought danger if I had to fire one was Jenny Lala. Comes back from the Sydney Mares race or Phillies race and can run well enough here. The last is a benchmark 84 to wrap up the day. I decided just to go against the Sir Davy race altogether, the Moonee Valley run race there, and I'm going to go looking for Logan Street Line at a price, actually, who was close up in some decent enough Sydney stuff, went to Yarra Valley where he had to be on pace to be in the finish. It's 20 to 1. It's an honest enough horse for Chris Waller. I know it's used to carrying a slightly more qualified jockey than Taylor Childs, but we'll find out from Mark West, who might be an $8 moral here. Pulled up lame last time out at the Valley. We know it's a better horse. We'll be on pace, get Celine Gaudry, and there's a lot of plotters here. Beaver?
Yeah, there is. I've gone for Regal Amazon. Number 11. Third up here. Comes off fourth and fourth. Again, I thought last run was pretty good. It was fourth behind Sir Davy. I know that was the form you've potted.
I will say out of the Sir Davy race,
here.
it was unlucky, and Far Flung was the widest, and
yes,
they'll be the only two I'd like to take out of it.
But I just thought the 13 gate set up nice for it. Can get out, can get in the running line there, and might be hardest to beat. So I had it on top.
Beautiful. Give us your quaddie.
Give us the quaddie. Race 7, the first leg. Just went for the 3 in the market here. Numbers 1, 2, 3. in the first leg. Race 8, which is the second leg, I've gone number 2, Buffalo River, number 3, The Inferno, number 4, Here to Shock, and number 9, Globe. In the fourth leg, which is race 9, I've gone number 3, First Immortal, number 6, Berkeley Square, number 9, Carini, and number 11, Shahar. And to finish off the last race, I've gone number 1, Belle Plaisir, number 3, Promises Kept, number 8, Marquess, number 5, Flash Feeling, and number 11, Regal Amazon.
Beauty, your best and value.
My best bet is race 9, number 3, First Immortal. And my value bet is race 6, number 3, Sarazana.
Love it. My best is race 5, number 7, Furious, but I do agree First Immortal does look the obvious there. And my value, race 10, number 7, Logan Street Lion. Anything in Queensland? I don't know. What's the weather doing up there?
Yeah, it's soft 5 up there. So they've had a bit of rain up there in recent times as well. Tried to find a couple there. Race 1, number 9, Sharla's Moment. Not bad value there, so I think it can run extremely well. I've got, then we move down later in the day where it was race 6, number 3, Flag Hall. Think it'll be winning and one of the better bets on the card. Then I've got race 8, number 13, Red Top. I think that's going to be hard to beat. And finishing off in the last race 10, number 15, Tajaki.
Lovely. Thank you, Beaver. Good to see you.
You're welcome, mate. Good to see you also.
We will catch up at some point in the coming weeks. But otherwise, listeners, if you subscribe, leave us some feedback, as we said. And we're back to do it all again for day 2 of the championships. Take care. Good luck this weekend.